Hey, it's Sarah with Loaves and Dishes, and in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to make this white chocolate and almond bread pudding. So, as some of you may know, probably most of you don't, Loaves and Dishes, our website, has been around for 10 plus years now. And when Mom first started it, after she had been doing it for about a year or so, I'd say, I wanted to help out some. And one of the very first recipes that I contributed was for a chocolate bread pudding, or like a chocolate chip bread pudding. And I happened upon that post the other day, and Mom rightfully took it down. The pictures that I took were terrible. It was like some of the most unappetizing food pictures you've ever seen. And I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about the pictures that I'm able to take now, and I was like, wow, I've come such a long way. So I decided to make an elevated bread pudding. This recipe is based on a dessert at a favorite restaurant of ours. And the great thing about bread pudding is that the ingredients are pretty inexpensive and it's super easy to make. So what I've been doing is I've been making a creme anglaise, which is cream and sugar that you warm up, and then you take a whole bunch of egg yolks and you whisk those up and you keep those set aside. And once the cream and sugar gets warm, then you start to temper your eggs, which basically means you very slowly add the cream mixture into the eggs and you whisk them a whole bunch until like the eggs are up to temperature, and so when you put them in the hot liquid, they're not going to like curdle like scrambled eggs. So now that that's all done, I forgot that I had these vanilla bean pods that I got from Trader Joe's, and I thought how fancy to be able to add real vanilla bean. There it is. Those are the seeds. That's the part that makes it taste like vanilla to this recipe. Now, I will say, there has been some research done on vanilla, and when I say research, it's not serious research. I mean, I read a book about it. Vanilla extract is generally what people prefer, like regular people prefer in a blind taste test. And I will say that I used 2 vanilla bean sticks, and those are not cheap. It was like $4 for those 2 sticks. And I didn't feel like it had very much vanilla flavor. And that's why I typically just use imitation vanilla extract. And you can use the fancy stuff if you want, but for something that you're putting in such small quantity that doesn't do a ton, I would rather buy the cheap stuff on that. You could get the fancier stuff for other ingredients, like maybe the cream. I feel like the cream would be a great use of a fancy cream for this, especially if it was for something super special. So now I'm chopping up this bread, and this is just a loaf of French bread. Bread pudding originated in like the 11th century in Europe, and it was a way for people to use up stale bread so that nothing went to waste. We don't really have that problem anymore with, food preservatives and food being readily available and stuff. But if you wanted to let your bread go a little stale, you could. Now, I chopped up the bread, I added the white chocolate chips, and now I'm adding my cream mixture. I'm adding it in slowly because I didn't want to just dump the whole pot in here, but you eventually will dump the whole pot. So I'm adding a little bit, and then I'm getting it mixed up just so that the almonds and the white chocolate will stick. Now you want to let it sit for about 30 minutes so that the bread can really absorb the liquid. That's what you want. And then after about 30 minutes, you can dump it into your baking dish. I'm just using like a casserole dish, like a 9x13 size. And I did spray it with a little bit of oil. I don't think it's necessary because like this is going to come out regardless, but just to be safe, you could spray it with a little oil. And then I added some extra chocolate chips on top. And the great thing about bread pudding is that you can take this base recipe without the white chocolate chips and without the almonds and make any kind of bread pudding you want. I was just thinking that like a dried cranberry or dried raisin, or dried cherry would be great for the holidays. But anyways, that's white chocolate almond bread pudding. And if you want to see more, or if you want to see this recipe, be sure to check out loavesandishes.net. Thanks for watching. Bye.